dropped a 21-6 decision in their conference opener in Baton Rouge at Southern on Saturday. Coach, if you could just kind of summarize that game and then talk about heading into the Tuskegee game and the Louis Cruz Classic, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, I mean, like everybody know by now, the score. So we came in that ball game thinking we were ready to play, and I'm going to give Coach Mitchell all the credit. He had his troops ready to go, and from the opening play, they completed looked like a simple slant on us, and we missed 2 tackles. He didn't break them. We missed them because we kind of just fell down. And he went 72 yards on the opening play. So, I mean, within 30 seconds or so of the game, we were down 7-0. Moved the ball, got it again, moved it well, got down towards the red zone, stalled, kicked a long field goal, missed it. Another series, we drove it again, but unsuccessful. And then they hit us with a big play, a big pass play. And the kid played well. Ray played well. He did a real good job of throwing the football. And that kept us kind of on our heels. I think they did the 2 things to us that, of course, we didn't expect. One, we didn't expect them to pass for over 300 yards on us, and they were able to do so. And 2, we didn't expect them to be able to stop the run, and they were able to do so. And again, I'm not going to take anything away from Coach Mitchell. I thought him and the staff did a great job of preparing their kids to play a good, hard football game, and maybe we saw film on them that wasn't flattering and made some assumptions. And by the time we woke up, there was nothing we can do. This game was already decided. So our kids fought to try to come back, but it was much too little and much too late. Next week this upcoming week, I should say, we have Tuskegee. They're coming off of a loss, just like we are. We both be looking at each other as the same thing to try to heal this season and get the season started off in the right direction. They'll come up here with some extra motivation because it seems that every time they play us in any type of a game, particularly our own classic now, they'll be coming up here to be major spoilers and bringing a lot of people. And, we most definitely have to be ready to play 4 quarters of football. We have not, in 2 ball games, put 4 quarters of football together. And, so that's going to be our challenge for this upcoming week, to prepare for 4 quarters of football and at the same time preparing for a good football team.
We'll now open it up for questions for head coach Anthony Jones from Alabama A&M.
Hey, Coach Jones, good morning to you. Ty Miller from Sheridan Broadcasting.
Hey, Ty.
Coach, you hinted that maybe you guys saw some things on tape with that Jackson State game with the last game the Southern played versus Tennessee State that maybe had you thinking that they were a little bit less than what they turned out to be. So can you expound on that, whether it was players or coaches?
I mean, as a coach, when I saw the film, I was very concerned because they didn't do a lot of good things that week. They were able to run on them. They were able to stop the run, and they didn't do a real good job of passing. But as a coach, I could see some of that potential. I really could. And, you try to press that onto your players and even so onto your coaches. And some people look at it and they don't see the same thing that you see. And, players are real tough at seeing that. And so they could not see this fast improvement in 1 week. And so I really believe that was part of our problem. Went down there. I told him before the game I was concerned about focus because we were concentrating on other things, and I told him I was concerned about it. I told him you need to be concerned about this football team we're about to play because they have some talent, and when they put it together, they're going to be scary. And we got shocked.
And, Coach, could that be a teaching tool and a learning lesson for this week when you take on Tuskegee, a team that looked a little bit shaky against Langston this past week?
Well, I don't know if they look shaky. They made some mistakes that ended up costing them the football game. But there wasn't nothing shaky about their performance. I mean, they still play hard. They still have talent. They still have their Tuskegee name, their Tuskegee honor, and all those type of things. They just made some mistakes that ended up costing them the football game. And, of course, Langston came out and played hard, too. I'm not going to take anything away from the opponent. They played well. But, this team, this Tuskegee team, you can never underestimate their abilities. And because if you do, you're going to be in for a big shot. This is 2 weeks in a row where, we, based on what we saw, we took opponent lightly. The first half, we played Hampton, was blowing them out, and said, we relaxed the second half. Before you know it, we were down, and now we're trying to come back. It's too late. This game here, we saw them on film, wasn't impressed with what we saw, and took them lightly, and then they jumped all over us, and now we tried to respond, but it was too late. So, sooner or later we got to learn the lesson, or schools are definitely going to be out.
Coach, from an offensive standpoint, what is lacking in execution, and could you kind of focus on the offensive line, how far they are along so far this season?
I mean, we're doing some good things. I just think our effort was absolutely awful. I can't put it no other way. I mean, when you go back and you look at the film, we're looking at other teams, but our effort, man, was as if we were just expecting to show up and say, okay, boo, and they would give us the win. I mean, our effort was awful, and that's something that I'm going to address this week in practice, and henceforth. So you cannot beat anybody in this conference. Matter of fact, you can't even compete with anybody in this conference if you show up and have poor effort.
And finally, Coach, how do you prepare for a team that has an unsettled quarterback situation? Coach Slater's not sure who's going to start this week.
Well, both of them played last week, so you got to get ready for both of them. That's just the bottom line. You got to try to figure out what each one of them do well, and try to get ready for both of them.